Hello and welcome guys, ArmaganVideos here, today with a tutorial about a logo in Photoshop. Many of you have asked me on Facebook, YouTube, in the comments below to show you how to create a logo or how to create a logo in Photoshop. And yeah, usually I don't like to make logos in Photoshop, and I usually suggest people to make their logos in Illustrator, just because it's way easier in Illustrator because it's made for it to work with vector shapes. And yeah, Photoshop offers some vector properties as well, but well, it's very hard to work with them. But I'm going to show you my workflow if I'm going to create a logo in Photoshop. I know many of you want to create their logos in Photoshop simply because they don't have Illustrator or don't want to learn a new program. And yeah, here we go. So, first of all, let's create a new document in Photoshop. I'm going to make it full HD. That means 1920 by 1080. Call it logo. And we're going to make a hipster kind of logo, like the vintage badges. I think many of you know it already. We got 2016 and they got introduced 2014 or so. So yeah, well, they got reintroduced. So, what I'm doing here is click on here, solid color. That gives us a solid. I'm going to make it full black, call it background. Just double clicked on here. And well, double click on this one as well, hit OK. So the lock disappears and just delete this layer because we don't need it. Let's lock this one. And let's quickly save it. Yes. Okay. Okay, now we're going to start. First of all, hold on your mouse on the rectangle tool and go to rectangle tool and go to polygon tool. Make sure your sides are on 6 and hold down shift while you're dragging it out. So make sure, maybe there's a workaround. Wait, if you hold down shift and then click. Okay, isn't working. Okay. I want to have it laid out like this. Then double click in here, make it white. Now press Ctrl and A. While having the move tool selected, you can get the move tool by pressing V. Then you get those options right here at the top of Photoshop, so you can center it if you have pressed Ctrl A and selected the whole document. Pretty easy actually. So let's shrink that down by pressing Ctrl T. And yeah, so now we're going to add a cool text or maybe just a sign. Usually I wanted to, or at the beginning while I was planning this tutorial, I wanted to have the ampersand or and symbol in here, but now I'm just going to use a plus because I figured out that looked very great. By the way, this is more like a challenge other than a tutorial because I didn't make a logo in Photoshop for a long time, so let's see how this works out. There we go, this should do the trick, I guess. And always keep your layers clean in Photoshop. I'm just going to group this, select those both by holding shift, clicking in here, and hold down shift while you're clicking on this group icon right here, and it puts it into a group for you. Let's call it polygon. Okay, so next up we're going to create the typography, and this is actually being made by creating a ellipse. Click right in the middle, hold down shift and alt, so it makes a perfect circle. And let's make it like this big. Let's make it white so we actually see something. Okay, now this is our circle where we are going to align our text on this path. And as you can see, if you press T to get the text tool, you can see that there's a little dotted circle around our text tool. And if you're going to the edge of our path right here, it kind of gets a wavy shape, a wave. If you now click, you can just start to type on there. I've just typed out Armagan. Of course, you can't read it because it's black, so make it white. And now, if you're having your text selected and pressing A, you're going to get this tool, sorry. And as you can tell, this shows that you can move the text on your circle right here. So you just click and move it until it's on the top of your circle. Of course, this is way too big right now, so let's shrink this down. The font is okay, Gotham medium. I think I got a custom kerning / spacing 300. If you don't have this window, just click on here. Easy as that. It's called character. If you don't have it, you can find it here. Character, boom, pops up. Okay, that's it for the top part. Now we can delete our circle right here. And we can copy this text by holding down Alt while having the move tool selected. Just drag down and hold down Shift so it goes right and one line down, as you can tell by the middle line there. Now we're going to type out videos. Now you're wondering, what the hell is he doing? Right, we need to rotate this one right here. So press Ctrl T and hit flip vertical. Press enter. Okay, now there's this problem that the text didn't rotate, so I think we need to rotate it like this. There's always this trial and error with Photoshop. And yeah, I've mentioned this is more like a challenge for me, so let's see. Of course, this is not a pre-scripted tutorial. If I encounter any problems or bugs, you're going to see how I fix it live, because you can run into those problems as well. And I think it's a very great technique to actually learn something, instead of just leaving you there with the problem. So let's see how ArmaganVideos is going to fix this problem. I know that we have to play around with those vertical stuff right here. So if I turn this now. Okay, now we got it in the inside. If I now hit this one. Really weird. Let me just quickly go back and redo it again. Delete videos. Why isn't it working? Yes. Let's copy this down. Ha! Okay guys, easy fix. What you need to do, let me show you again. You have to select your text and copy it. Listen guys, this can be a bit confusing. Now you have to press A instead of Ctrl T. Because if you press A, you're just getting the circle where our text is written on, the path. Now you can press Ctrl T, right click, flip vertical, hit OK, and boom, there you go. So I hope you could figure this out, guys. If not, just write a comment down in the comment section below. I'm going to help you out as fast as I can. And please keep in mind that I'm getting so many emails the recent days. It's crazy. And the most are about team logos, which I can't see anymore. We have done so many, it's ridiculous. Okay, next up for the typography, I'm going to type out 90. Oops, drag it to the right, and 95. Let's grab them both, bring them to the middle, call it middle text. Let's save real quick, and let's bring the middle text over here right in the middle. Maybe also press Ctrl A to select the whole area right here, the whole document. Press V again to get the move tool and center those up. There we go. Okay, next up I'm going to bring this over. Somewhere around here. Okay. And what I'm going to do is actually bring this down to around 14. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, fine. Later on, we're going to add a little line under this. And yeah, now we are going to add some cool looking vector shapes. We're going to create an arrow in Photoshop. And yeah, let's start with the base. So get the rectangle tool. Let's make the base of it like the wood stick. Make it white real quick and drag it out of this group. Then zoom in right here. Let's see. If you don't have the rulers, press Ctrl R. And let's press P for the pen tool and wait. I just have to make a new layer. And if you're getting the pen tool by pressing P, normally it's set to path. Make sure that it's set to shape now, because we want to create a shape. Click on here, hold down Shift so it makes a perfect line, as you can see. Just going to rewind this. And yeah, let's get rid of this as well. So I'm going to start from here, hold down Shift, go up there, down here, and back again. And if we zoom out, let's see how it looks. Yeah, I think that's fine. So let's zoom in. And now get the move tool again by pressing V, hold down Alt and drag this one to the right, press Ctrl T, right click, flip vertical. Oops, not vertical, horizontal I mean. Boom, there we go. And sometimes guys, if you rotate this now, there's going to be a little aliasing or interpolation problem right here. So I think a cool fix is that you select both shapes, right click, convert to smart object. And now let's see if we get this problem. We're going to set the fill to 0 and give it a stroke. Of course, 55 pixels is too much, so yeah, we don't get a middle line here. That means we fix the error by making a smart object out of our two sides there. Now we can increase the arrowhead by to 100% opacity again. Okay, now let's create the feathers for our arrow. For our arrow, there we go. And let's drag out a rectangle like this, make it white again. Ctrl T, rotate it by around 45 degrees, I guess. Yeah. Yes. And bring it over here. Maybe I think I should made it bigger. So let's rewind this step. Something like this should do the trick for us. So hold down Shift while you're rotating it, so it jumps in those 15 degree portions. There we go. Hold down Alt again, rotate it, copy it, and then rotate it. There we go. Let's bring this to the left. Let's go some steps to the right. There we go. Now select both again by holding down Shift. Hold down Shift as well by clicking on this button so it groups them up. Hold down Alt while having the whole group selected and it makes a copy for you guys. Same again. Make sure that they're spaced correctly. I think this is fine. Yes. Maybe one more. Oh, they got pretty big. So select them all and hold down Ctrl T, Shift and Alt while dragging it down. There you go. Let's bring it right down here. And now guys, while you're having all those selected, hold down Shift again, click in here and make a final group for our complete arrow. Now press M for the rectangular marquee tool and select those edges here to cut off our feather later on. Now press on the layer mask button right here. Boom. Hit invert while you are having the layer mask selected. And there we go. Sharp and nice feather thingies right here for our arrow. And yes, I think maybe we should also increase the size. So let's see. Let's bring those down. Get our base shape. Press Ctrl T and drag this down. I think that should be fine. What do you think, guys? Yeah, I think that's okay. Okay, now let's group up the whole thing. Arrow, make save. And well, I'm just going to copy this arrow right here. That's a backup in case we mess up something with our angle right here. In case we're leaving it like this, then we want to have it straight again to use it in another project or so and want to bring it back again. We never get the right angle. So I'm just using this as a backup. Okay, let's copy this arrow and let's bring it over here. Let's see, something like this, I think should, yeah. Maybe make it even larger. Yeah, I'm just going to make it larger. So select those, bring them down, rectangle again, increase the size down here. And maybe change up the thickness of our thing right here. By holding down Alt, you can alter both sides of our rectangle. Yeah, that looks fine. So let's get the move tool, Alt, Control T, and let's rotate it and bring it in here. Just like that. Now, while having the arrow selected, press Ctrl and J. That makes another copy. Press Ctrl T, right click, flip horizontal, and boom. Now let's select both and put them directly in the middle of our plus. Yeah, there we go. Now this looks a bit weird, so what are you going to do to fix this? We are going to make a... First of all, we're going to group our two arrows again, hold down Shift, click in here, create a layer mask. Now press B for the brush tool, make sure it's set to 100% opacity, and switch up the colors by pressing X to black, X, and now you're just going to draw over here, and you can see that we can delete our arrows by doing this. So I just want to delete the middle section so it's clean. All right, there we go. Make sure to save. Yeah, guys, look at this. Photoshop just killed itself. So I'm just going to reopen it real fast. Funny. Okay, let's open our logo again. I hope it's saved all. Yeah. That's, guys, a live presentation of why you should always save in Photoshop. It's completely dangerous, guys. Okay. Yeah, where did we end up? I wanted to disable the arrow and save real quick. Okay, next up we're going to make the little line that I've mentioned in the beginning, guys. So make sure to get a guideline right here and right there. And let's make it white. Just like this. And if we hide the guidelines, yeah, it looks kind of weird. Maybe a bit too big. What do you think, guys? Or maybe we should even leave it and not put it into our image right here. Well, it depends on you guys. And what I wanted to mention is that you can find this template in the description below to download and alternate. It's completely yours. You can do whatever you want with it. And there we go. And I think that looks fine, guys. So what I'm not happy with is the overall look of our logo right here. So what I want to try is decrease the fill. And let's hit stroke. And let's see how it looks if we bring it like to hard, guys, really hard. I think 2 is fine. Somehow our arrow here looks a bit weird, but I think we should be able to fix this to when we're switching up our stroke from outside to inside. Let's see. Nope. And this is a problem because you can see it's working with pixels and interpolating those little edges right here. And yeah, you can't do much about it, sadly. Just, let's see. Yeah, I think center is fine. We can live with that one. I think the logo is made in Photoshop and looks perfectly fine, just like as it's made in Illustrator, so pretty fine there. Maybe even bring it to 2. No, that looks, ooh. Let's bring it to 1, so it's okay. Alrighty, next up, I think we should, yeah, let's get rid of this. It looks kind of weird. And save, of course. Next up, we should alternate our text a bit more. So let's maybe decrease the size to 18 points. Yeah, looks fine. Here as well. 18. And yeah, I think the logo looks pretty fine for this right now. So select the polygon, make it a bit smaller. And now a cool trick I want to show you when you're working with shapes and stuff in Photoshop. Let's say you want to alternate your color of the background. It's not black. Let's say it's this nice hotline bling pink red. Okay, I didn't get it perfectly. Yeah, you want to have this plus transparent. What are you going to do? Well, there's a cool trick. You can hold down Control while clicking on this layer here, the plus layer. As you can see, it's selected the plus layer, then you just hide it, go to your polygon and give it a layer mask. Boom, it's going to subtract it. Of course, now you have to invert it again, just like this. And now you could put any background behind it and it would be transparent. Just like here, as you can see. Awesome, right? And yeah, let's lock the background again. And that's basically it. We've created our logo in Photoshop. Looks pretty fine, I guess. Let's grab all the shapes that we need right here and group them up. Call it logo and save. And let's see if we can increase the size without losing any quality. First of all, drag out our backup arrow, or our bounding box will look weird. So there we go. If we drag it up, the quality should stay the same. Yeah, as you can see. I'm just not happy with this right here. I don't know why this happened. I think because my bicubic interpolation, if we change it up to automatic, let's see if this does anything. 1 second, guys. I'm just going to resize it. Really hard to figure this out because here it's perfectly made and then there's this little weird, I don't know. Let's see. Maybe we can figure that out, but if not, it's just because of the angle that I've chosen, I guess. Let's see. No, can't really figure that one out. But however, I think it's fine. It's completely made in Photoshop, so still pretty clean. And I mentioned in the beginning before, it's not really a tutorial, it's more like a challenge, but I think it turned out very great. Okay, guys. So, because many of you have asked as well how to put those logos onto a perspectively distorted image. I've prepared a texture for you. I'm just going to, I'm just going to make a new document. Let's make it full HD as well. I'm now going to bring it in here, rotate it, make sure that it's bigger than our document itself. And well, now you get this right here. Right click, move to new window and drag this whole thing in here. That's our logo. Boom, there we go. Oops, press Ctrl A to select the whole document and center that up. I want to make it black, so I just double click on here and open the layer style panel, go to color overlay and just make it black. There we go. As you can see, the stroke is maybe a little bit too thin, so just add it to make it to increase the size to 2 pixels or 3 even. It's your job to make it perfect, guys. Okay, so many of you have asked, how do I distort my textures and stuff to make it look 3D? Very basic, guys. You have to put some time in it to make it look realistic, but basically you just press Ctrl T to get the transform tool, and then you have those options: scale, rotate, skew, perspective, distort, and warp. And I usually use perspective and distort to get the right look. So I'm now dragging this one down right here. This one up. It already starts to look kind of a bit perspective, 3D. If you can tell. And yeah, that's how I do it. I just distort my background image. Then what I'm going to do to add some realistic looks is set our blending mode to overlay. First of all, guys, let me just make a backup of our logo. Ctrl J, right click, then convert to smart object. Now you can apply an overlay to it, and as you can tell, that gives it a huge push. And if it's not too strong, you can go to Ctrl J again, bring it to normal. Oops, misclicked. Normal. And decrease the opacity to give it more strength, as you can tell right here. And of course, you have to distort your logo as well now. Group it up, press Ctrl T, And yeah, now you have to right click Smart Object again. That's killing the whole purpose actually. So let me just go back. I'm just going to leave it like this and distort them one by one. Get rid of this one. So right click. I think perspective should do the trick for me right here. Go to distort. Distort it like this. Yeah, I think we're getting it, guys. What do you think? And now do the same stuff again. Control J, normal opacity down a bit. There we go. And now comes the best trick for this type of things, guys. Create a new image. Apply image. Okay. Control J to make a copy, and now go to Filter, Blur Gallery, Tilt Shift. Now you have to match it up. Can leave some parts of the logo blurred up maybe. Just like this, and let's bring the blur to around 10 pixels, should be fine, not too much. And well, this really adds to the 3D effect that that many people were interested in, like how you would create mockups on walls or stuff like this. And yeah, that's basically it, guys. We're done with the tutorial. You can find everything to it in the description below, and comment, like, and subscribe. Suggest me some more tutorials in the description below. Really like to have contact with you guys. Just ask questions in the comments below. I'm going to answer maybe or almost all of them, as you can tell from my other videos. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this. ArmaganVideos.